Hello, and welcome back. I'm starting off a bit early today. I am feeling re-energized actually, even though I've probably shouldn't. I don't know, it's a weird one. I'll get into that in a little bit. But yes, no, we're back at it. I actually took a little bit of a break last night. Even though I did still keep doing some work, I was actually working up till quite late. But I did something that I haven't done in far too long, which is just chat with some friends. And, just like on Discord and hang out, chill out, and talk a bunch of smack and drink with everyone. It was great. They were playing Space Marine. I was just watching them while I was getting some work done. I also played a little bit of Warframe, which was good. Which reminds me, I need to go accept my things and start building my the frame. So I actually have all the parts for that. Can I do that from my phone still? I used to have the stuff to do that from my phone. Do I still have that? Doesn't look like it. That's annoying. I think it was just like a straight up like Warframe app, right? Oh, well. Means that I'll get the frame started, like, after stream. Which, to be fair, after stream for me is going to be me watching the new season of holocure that's just finished. Because I've been waiting for it to just complete at this point. And it has done that, and I'm so fucking excited. I genuinely can't wait. So, let us get into what has happened of the game, because I have, as per usual, not relaxed and have been working since we last did the stream. So, what I've been working on is the furthering of what we had. I don't know quite where we were at with everything last time I left off, but let's actually go to the script stuff. Not that one. This one. So, I've worked on this one a little bit. This one's hasn't changed too much. This is the main thing that's changed with the actual text representation in this situation. So what I mean by this, all this is doing is it's basically giving it a tiny little border to the text. Just makes it a little bit more, it pops out a little bit more and just makes it a touch more readable, which is just, yeah, it's kind of good. I can play around with this very, very easily because we have a text color enum, which I'll explain that as well when we get to that. But this one hasn't been edited, the specialized one, so it's actually running out and not got a lot of things going through it correctly. That's just how that is. But our upgrades drawer has had a lot of work done down here. So this is where we were at last time. I have gone through so many things on this. So I'm gonna like list a couple of the issues we had. And go very briefly into the resolutions that we had, that I had for these. So, one of the biggest issues I was having, and I'm not even sure fully why it was occurring, but it was occurring nonetheless. When I finally got it to actually, we had two major problems. Alright, so the first one was the one we were dealing with still on stream, which was the damn it, phone. My phone keeps falling over, sorry. So the first one was, how do I best describe it? It was failing to check if the value here was the, like it was failing to find that value. So if we go into this code, it's specifically this spot that was failing. I found out that apparently, when dealing with a function like this, it doesn't scope in a natural way. So what you can do is you can use method to forcefully scope it, which is what we did here. So I took the target value, which was the string that we had before, put it into this value here in the scope, and then just forced the scope, and then forced the reference, and it guaranteed it. That's the resolution to that. I wish there was a better answer, but that's just what happens. So then the next issue, after I resolved that after stream, the next issue presented itself, which was, for some reason, the description on the weapon was getting modified. So what I mean by this is, simply put, instead of like only modifying the like the local one, which the local was literally just me doing a var underscore, I think it was descript equals underscore skill dot descript or whatever. There we go. So I was doing this was screwing up. What was ending up happening is, instead of only like actually affecting this one, when I would change things, it would affect this one, and it meant that when I would do a level up thing, for example, because I would basically tell it, if it's leveling up, go pull a value to show that it's leveling up, it would augment it permanently, so it no longer would actually pull values correctly. So the resolution to that was to kind of scuff it a little bit, and now we've got an array create of the length, and then I just manually set the details, kind of like saying, okay, so each thing will be 3. The first one's going to just be the description baseline, and then go through all the modifiers if necessary. And then this is the color on the, like this is the font of the color being set down here. Now, this is also, as you can see, gone through a lot of things. We've added in a bunch of specific key, like denoting sort of things to indicate when we write specific things. So you'll see that there is an @ sign, a percentage sign, the hash sign, and then there's actually down here, there's also the question mark for, say, a question, like basically querying if a condition is met. This is useful for a couple of things. The problem is that it's very absolute, and I can't currently pass through certain things. I can change how I handle this a little bit if I need to later, very easily. But this works perfectly fine at the moment for all of the conditions that I've really had. So what this means is that now I'm actually going through, as you kind of saw as I opened up, going through the descriptions and changing them. This is what descriptions look like in the code now. I actually have a screenshot from yesterday that I found really, really funny. If you would give me a moment, which is an example of in-game. Open line. Of roughly kind of what it looks like. Well, at the time, it looks a little bit different now because we've done some more alterations. But so this is what a description looks like in game with all of its code. Very messy and thing. And then this is what it will look like. So again, like there's a lot more cleanup, but it's the exact same thing right there. Which I find really, really funny. I don't know, maybe it's not as funny as I'm making it out to be. I just find that really entertaining. But we've got some really cool ones now sitting there, and I'm super happy with them. Like super, super happy. So if we actually launch the game, Zarek. And go into this. Again, very few have been done so far. Keep this in mind. But if we force this, you've got Speak of the Devil is here. One of my best examples, because it actually has a lot more than normal. This is how this looks. Which is really, really cool to me. So again, see how it's like a gain area based on 1% plus 0.5%, or basically 0.50%. The big thing to keep in mind, and this isn't very clear with this one, but we'll see it in a moment, is that it only shows this plus thing like this when this would be leveled up. So if we go Iron Mike, here's a great example. You see how it says 30 plus 10% every 1 second, 128 pixels. If we level up again and try and find it, you'll see here that it doesn't say a plus to the damage, but it says a plus to the pixels. This is one of the things that we've kind of got going now, so it'll actually check for these things and better accommodate them. Which is really, really cool. I'm really happy with this. And this is going to be like a progressive thing. There's a few other like weapons around the place that have also, here we go, Anonymous Feather. And again, this is one of those, like, it's not going to show any pluses here because this would be getting the weapon initially. I will openly admit, Anonymous Feather is a great example of this. I need to review how I'm writing these still. I need to keep reviewing them because I'm not sure this is kind of the phrasing I want. Because still some of this is left kind of loose for its description, especially this final bit here. When picked up, they refund a portion of this weapon's cooldown. The problem is that I don't know if I can pull the hard numbers for that yet, happily, but we'll see. And then we've also got something that I'm trying to consider how I'm going to approach it, which is the whole fire 24 pixel feathers every 7 seconds. So this, the amount, then the area. We've got a lot of weapons that will fire out a projectile of some kind. Let's see if we can find another example. There is one specifically that I'm going to look for, which is the one I just was writing. Here we are, Moth Goop. Spread 6 64 pixel goops that apply a DOT, dealing 5 damage every second, 4 seconds. Impact deals 50% of the tick damage. This again, it's got that whole spread. This is the amount, this is the size. I don't know if that's what we want to do for it, but I feel that this is kind of clear once you understand, like, that color means that thing. Because that's the other thing. I'm trying to aim for every stat to have its own unique coloring that is consistent, and you'll be able to recognize that. Yellow being amount, this red being damage, this green being pixel. Because that's the thing, is if we look here, you'll see that there is a much more like pinky red for this max health one. There's this area, this is all area, this value, that's armor, it's slightly gray. Also, it's duplicated. I might need to look at that. And then health regen is like this very limey color. I do not know, by the way, why armor is turning up twice here. I've been having a few issues with that sort of thing around the place, and I'm still not 100% sure on them. But one of the cool ones that we have is, so with Anonymous Feather, this is the, like, showing the conditional thing. This is how it's phrased currently. You'll see it's like dealing the damage, they are left behind as pickups, then when dealing, refund, right? If we'll get it on the level up thing again... always, there we go. You'll see that it's actually now got an additional bit here. After a delay, they automatically return to you. Why does this matter? Well, simply put, it means that I can actually tell you, oh, something's been done, you can see this now. So it means there's mechanics I can hide, in a sense, or like excessive descriptions I can hide behind the level. Because that's the thing, is at the highest level with Anonymous Feather, that is its design. Is it's supposed to fire them out and then they'll return to you. But yeah, this is currently what it looks like if you don't have the things working for them correctly. It's really funny. So currently that is what I'm going to be just doing for now, is I'm going to go through and just keep kind of working on some of these while I'm getting in my head, how do we want to approach descriptions moving forward? Kind of what phrasing do we want with them? Because like, even this one was taking a while because I was trying to decide how I wanted to handle when something could be a single and then duplicates. So I'm just doing, for whirlpools, I'm doing this. Because this can start, it starts off as 1, then it will go to 2 pretty early on, I believe. Let's see, level 3. Well, no, not level 3 technically, but it's the 3rd level up. Baseline, level, when it hits level 2, hits level 3, hits level 4. There you go, that's the one I wanted to call it. When it hits level 4, the level 4 upgrade. Always fun. But yes, that is, that's where we're at with that. I'm actually, again, I'm really happy with how this has come out so far. It did take a lot of sleuthing around, though, for many, many hours to get to this point. But the benefit that we have is moving forward, things will become a lot easier with things. Now, have I ditched working on, as because I know we started working on them last week, the shrines? No, I'm just trying to do a little bit more research before I commit a bit more to that, and this is something that I feel, if I was to make a decision for really getting the next patch out for this game this week, which is intended, I do want to get another patch out because I want to have this out. What would I work on, shrines or descriptions? I would prefer have descriptions fully working and functioning and in your hands this week, instead of waiting an additional week for shrines and then working on the descriptions. Yo. So that's where I'm at the moment with this stuff. Now this one is going to require me to do a lot of referencing, because I need to... This one's a complex weapon and it still needs possibly a soft rework. Okay, so, how do I want to word this? Oops. Slash. Okay, so let's. So you get to see kind of, again, you can see how this is written a little bit. So, I will openly admit to this, how I start writing these descriptions, and just to get it all down at the very least, is like this. I don't fill in the colors or the font immediately, because what's the point? And also at the moment, I will openly say this, at the moment, I'm only using the regular one. I could use the italic in a few spots. I want to. However, not yet, because I'm not sure if I want to do that for like numbers. If I want to go like while a thing is getting leveled up, it will go italic to make it even more prevalent. That it's like new. Like new and flashy and fancy, and you should pay attention to this more. Or if it should be, for example, with those conditional ones, right? Where it's like, oh, the condition's been met, so there's an italic thing there to indicate that this is not something that was originally there. Right? Because the reason why you might go, it's like, well, isn't it given at like the final level for most weapons? It's not. That's the problem. There is one weapon in particular that I know of that doesn't just give the an additional effect at its final level, but gives it, I think, at like level 6 or 5, because the weapon's supposed to scale pretty intensely. I think it's 6, and that's Aura's weapon. And that's one of those times where it's like, okay, well, if I made that italic when its condition is met, which is just that you can fire the wave, do I then allow for that sort of thing? Now, one thing I would like to introduce to the system I have is to check for basically a way of denoting the first value as the question for the conditional, and then any other values as like fetch values, like are meant to be fetch values. The reasoning I have for that is so I can actually like write in things if I must. But we'll see about that. Okay. So, the other thing is, well, at the moment, and I think this is like just me having bad code, is that if I don't like ensure everything ends with a space, it gets really buggy, including the even final things or things before values and all that. So that's something that I'm trying to do my best to keep an eye on. And make sure I'm not like missing something every once in a while. I think if I go here and look at this one, yeah, for some reason that we saw that armor double up one point. Might need to see why. If it was having a weird carry moment. Alright. dash at sign, and it will be 0. Cool. So let me actually explain this one, because this one's one of the more complex ones. This is an area check. So I use @ sign to denote when I'm doing area. With whatever value this is. And then the value here is which sprite index from these sprites up here it utilizes for the math that it will do for it. Because yeah, if I just told you the raw area value, it would not make sense, because I would just say 2, or it would say 1. Like in this case, it would tell you 1.875. That doesn't tell you actually what you need to know with the area, because the sprite itself is getting modified by that value. That's the scaling value for the sprite. So therefore, what you actually need to know is what that value is. The sprite value is times that. Okay, so... Sorry, cat. Okay, trying to remember. How do I, so what is the script for that one? Attack details on attack type 2. Just heal on hit? Yeah. Okay. Value. Which one is this? 4, 5, 6, 7. Value 7. The stream hasn't started on the hour punctually, it started earlier. Yeah, well, I mean, I was just feeling like starting earlier, and I'm able to because the flatmate's away for the next day or so. Which is why I was able to stay up late as well yesterday. Hanging out with some friends and drinking and chatting and such, which was really, really good. Definitely glad that I actually did like do that, because it's just one of those things that I don't actively go and do as much as I should. I'm too busy normally just working, and it really helps me like kind of just get out of a rut, which I've been in a small one recently. Me drink. I drink excessively when I do drink. So, you know. I finished like a quarter of a bottle of whiskey and like, I think it was 3 cans, or was it 4 cans of 500ml Asahis, which was great. Da, 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 da. So this value is value 5. Then value, oops, val 6. So this needs hashtag and percentage. There we go. So one change I need to what it was. Excessive drinking means you would chug some spirits bottle or two. Well, I mean, like I said, it was a bottle of whiskey I was just drinking from. Good old Centauri. Had a little bit left, so I needed to finish it off, I guess. To be fair, that wasn't the... When I say that was excessive drinking, it was a large amount in a very small amount of time, is what I kind of more mean it as. Because I only was drinking for like an hour. But yeah, that's nowhere near like my caps that I've had for drinking. I drink a lot when I drink. I just don't drink much nowadays because it's just expensive. Especially when like a good bottle of whiskey goes for like easily 70-80 bucks. Just a bit much. Dude, even the like, was it 6 cans or 8 cans of Asahi that I got was like 20, I think it was almost $30. Which is just, it's a lot of money for some like, just something to drink once in a while. And unhealthy? Oh, there's that, but I've already got my body fucked too many ways for a lot of my drinking habits to do much more to. My liver's already undead, so it's not like I can do much more damage. Value. This is normally value 4. There we go. Nice. Alright, now we need to go through and do the fun part of getting texts done. So I'm just gonna copy and paste this. There we go. I recommend getting something sweet in terms of food before you drink hard. Glucose does... Oh, I mean, okay. If you want to, like, talk things to do when drinking, I have a lot. I went to a lot of parties, throughout my life. I used to live in a lot of bad neighborhoods as well, so you get to experience a lot of things. I have my, like, what I do when I'm drinking, but I also because I don't get drunk easily, if at all, I just tend to drink because I enjoy the taste. Nothing else. I mean, the fact is, like, keep in mind, this is 8 AM and I drank enough to probably affect most people. And no hangover, no nothing. So, if anything, I actually came to stream more energized than normal. And like I said, that's because I'm just in a better mood. Because I got to hang out with people. Ah, Kiwi Farmer is a hardhead. Yeah, I guess you could say that. I mean, I have a lot of medical reasons even why I don't get affected by alcohol too much, but the shorthand is that I've got a way higher metabolism than I should, like the average person. So, stuff like that just kind of goes through and does nothing. Which is very, very strange and wild to me. But it is what it is. Again, everyone acts differently with that stuff. The other thing as well, and this was pointed out to me a lot by people, is that it also is like the mentality going into it. So if you go into it with like the mindset of not getting drunk, and you have already a decent constitution and ability to fight against that stuff, you're less likely to get drunk. So I guess because I'm going in with the absolute thought that I'm not going to get drunk, that I don't get drunk, is an argument that was made to me. I think there's definitely an aspect maybe, but it's not that thing. Got a fast metabolism too. Well, I mean, like, it's that whole thing of, I have a metabolism for my age that is nowhere near where it should be. My current metabolism is closer to that of like an early teenager. And it has slowed down significantly since, like my 20s and such, my early 20s. And since I was a teen. My metabolism was insane when I was younger. I could eat a lot of food and just... I had to eat in quantity, not quality, when I was younger. I could easily eat way too much. And I would just never have problems with being, like, full. Which is not a good thing. Caused me no end of issues. All I can say on drinking is that even zero alcohol beer has a bad taste, in your opinion. I mean, I don't like beer. I actually hate any hops beer. I don't like hops taste. It's really bad to me. There's a reason why I mentioned Asahi, because that's a rice-based beer. I love that one a lot. Asahi Super Dry is one of the only beers I will drink, and just full stop. And when it comes to whiskeys and stuff like that, to give a bit more of like a point to showing how like messed up I am with alcohol doesn't do much for me. If it's below like 45%, even 50% sometimes, it does not taste alcoholic to me. Jack Daniels, as an example, is like slightly flavored water, and I'm not even kidding. And I actually have really good taste buds, but the fact that it just tastes like slightly flavored water to me maybe says a lot. Like, I pretty strictly drink 50% up when I'm drinking like an actual liquor. But RC's nice. Again, I drink for taste, I don't drink because me getting drunk, because that just doesn't happen. It's actually why I liked parties, because I would go to them, and even though I would be drinking as much, if not more, than most of the people around me, I would end up like one of the more sober like individuals at the end. So I got to see people do really dumb shit. It was very fun. Long time no see. It's me, Yuki. Oh, welcome back. Nice to see you. Came into me just talking about random shit. It's always fun. Okay. If I say heal on hit, should the value that is healing be health region or health color? That's a question. I think it should be health region, but it's not actually health region. Health region is the regeneration effects. Like the constant thing. Unless I just go health region as just health restoration color? In general? It's a difficult one. You're doing a health region system? We have a health region system. What this is descriptions for weapons and stuff, and what I've been aiming for is having color coding for text and values to indicate when like what you're looking at, so you can better track in your head, oh, that's the color for area, that's the color for that. So it means that when you're looking over the text fast, you'll see things faster and recognize things faster. I'm not gonna stop saying like area or damage or anything like that, but I'm going to definitely lean on the fact that I can just kind of tell you, hey, this is this value by color. And that's why I'm like, I feel like this should just be the health thing, but I feel like it should be, instead of heal, it should be restore then. Restore this value, restore this health on hit. So restore this value, health on hit. I think that lines up with that better, because then again, that means we're not using health region color, because I feel if I say heal, I should use health region, but that's not a... This allows for a bit clearer thing. I like that a bit more. We could always try and make a color for that, but at that point in time, I feel like I'm now starting to just divulge into too many little differences. Also, I did respond to, we got an import food store in your local mall, tried rice beer from it, was not good. I mean, it depends on the brand, is the short answer for that one. And also, it's not for everyone. Like, it's the same argument with, I know so many people that swear by, like, cheap beer. They absolutely love stuff like Tui and DB Export. I don't. I really don't. And beer's not for everyone. Sometimes it's spirits, sometimes it's harder liquors, all sorts. And sometimes it's not alcohol at all, and that's perfectly fine. You don't need to drink alcohol. That's always a big thing that, like, I feel gets missed. Right, this one needs to be duration. And then this one is... This one actually doesn't need a color, because this is just telling you that it's got this chance to execute. I'm fine with it not having a color. It just needs to have the valuable. Which actually means that technically what I should do is I should do this. I know, man, I enjoy my non-concentrate orange juice. God, I don't like orange juice that much nowadays, but that's because I don't like most juices, because they're just too sweet for me. I don't like sugary things. I don't like overly sweet things. If sweetness is what you're aiming for with a flavor, it probably is going to turn me off. Because I love more bitter things a lot nowadays. Bitter or pastry. I have a huge soft spot for pastry. I will say, though, I have a soft spot for a couple of sweet things. Or sweeter things. I mean, one of my weirdest weaknesses for food, and I still love this to this day, is, I absolutely love, shortbread. I don't know why, but, like, shortbread fucking triggers something in my neurons. Just like, Japanese pudding. Like, pudding. I've talked about it before, but, like, when I was in Japan, the konbini that was connected to the place we were staying actually ran out pretty much because of me, of pudding, because I'd get like 3 per day or something at one point. And one of the times I went in and they're like, no pudding, no pudding, no pudding, we out, no pudding. And I fucking lost my shit with that. That was so fucking funny to me. It's just like, oh, it's the pudding guy. Shit. But no, I do agree with like the balance and taste thing. I mean, I come under super taster with my taste buds, which is like highly reactive. So I taste things a bit differently. Can get down to components a bit easier. The more sour, the better. I drink pineapple juice. See, that was the thing. It's like when I was younger, I didn't really like pineapple juice that much. Now I definitely don't mind it as much. I definitely fuck with it. It's good. But yeah, like I've not had. And to give an idea, I've had maybe 2 bottles of fizzy this entire year. I do not like fizzy, pretty much at all. And the only one that I have is LMP normally. Which is a New Zealand one. I did have Sprite, but that was for a thing. Because that was... Yeah, I'm not going to get into that one. But that was for a thing. Pudding, really? Yeah, like pudding. Sorry, I'm fucking up the phrasing. Pudding. Japanese pudding. The, like, custard pudding that they have. With the caramel on top. Probably seen it in anime, if anything. Like, genuinely, that shit can... I don't know. I don't know. I blame Neptunia, maybe. Like my introduction to pudding, and just me finally getting a hold of it, and just it triggered so many neurons. I enjoyed it so much. Easily, while I'm in Japan, if I go again, which I do want to, I'm going to probably come away from it at like the same weight I went there, which is not what you should normally be doing in Japan. Japan, you actually probably lose weight most of the time because Like the meal sizings and just the general like values in them are a lot better if you're just eating like a normal human being. And you're probably walking way more than you would wherever you live. Just because there's a lot of good walking, there's a lot of good standing things. It's just, you generally, especially in Tokyo, I found that it was a better design for actually just keeping you kind of generally fit and not like excessively fit, but just generally fit. So I did lose a little bit of weight while I went. But yeah, I definitely would put on more weight because of the pudding. It would counteract it. Fucking love it, man. Alright, let's launch the game and see how this stuff looks. But yeah, I have a massive soft spot for it all. Absolutely love it. So we need to play as Mary. What have I screwed up here? Oh, shit. Yeah, that's changed. Shit. Oh, yeah, Mary's gonna be completely broken at the moment. Is it... It says passive, right? That does that? Japan is built different with weight loss. Yeah. Again, it's one of those weird ones where I'm not trying to, like, say that it's 100% better. But I definitely, like, it's at least with my experience with Tokyo especially, it was really designed in a way that could allow for that stuff a bit more than what I've experienced here in, like, New Zealand. Right. This is going to be super bust at the moment because of the way I've got this. But there's also like a lot more stigmatism as well in Japan for weight. I did notice that a bit. Which is bit of a concern. Okay, cool. That's what I need to do instead. So it's variable. It shouldn't be too bad to do that. And then player. What was it again? This one. But yeah, no, I've talked about this a lot. I really want to go back over there with my friend. Next time I get like a solid opportunity. To go back over there for anything, I will definitely take the opportunity. Because I just really love it. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste this part here. Cool. So the benefit we have is that none of this should have changed. So it's just changing this part. So hopefully now if we try and play Mary, it doesn't crash. Would be a good start. I swear, of all the characters that we have, I think Mary has caused the single most crashes in the game. Alright, creative / fiction. I have clearly missed some spaces, I think. This is also wrong. I see. I know what I've done wrong with that. Yeah. Right, I can fix that. Also, this is undefined? Oh, that's why. Wrong way around. Okay, so that's undefined. Then let's look at... So this needs to actually not be a percentage. That's cool. Because if we instead do it like that. So where are the times where it's not correctly thinging? So this, we messed up. It's fine. Health. Yeah. I feel like... Yeah. Okay. I don't think there's much else to change then. Should be everything correct. Yeah. So if I close the game and let's rerun it, see what it looks like now. So from your stuff, continuing what we're talking about, I think I could do a history of gaming, channels of VTuber, might make a good model concept, yet I need to make a timeline, and yeah, well, I mean, like, that was kind of what I was saying, is just sit there, think about things for a little while, think about how you want to approach it, and find a way to do that and enjoy it. That's what actually matters. If you can manage to accomplish that, then you're more than on your way. Okay, now we've fixed the spacing issues. Yeah. Oh, this looks perfectly fine. What? One thing I want to test. No, it's because it will trigger it because of the way I have it, right? Or is it only... Okay, let me test something. I want to test something. If I put a percentage here with a space, does this trigger that conditional check? Still. Yes, it does. Cool. Okay. So yeah, I'll leave it like this then. But there we go. So that was probably one of the more like finicky abilities out there that we have to like grab a bunch of weird values for and explain. And I feel like we've done that pretty decently. I don't see too much of a problem with how it currently is. It's the difficulty of, like, do I think it's too wordy? Yeah, but is there much I can do to shorthand it? I don't think so. I think we're kind of capping out on what can be shorthanded for creative / fic. Let's see. I still think this weapon just scales horrendously as well. I'd be able to be a VTuber and a gaming historian. I just can't choose educational gameplays or history of hardware first. I mean, like, it's just whatever you feel more passionate about is the answer I give to that. Because one of the things I discussed with you yesterday, and I'll say this like kind of openly here as well, is that going into like YouTube content creation in general and all that stuff with the intention of generating friction and like getting traction and actually doing that and like doing well, becoming an actual content creator, all that is a horrendous idea for the most part, because you're going to create so much anxiety that it can cripple you, that it means that you'll never be happy with the content you do, which could be potentially useful because you could utilize that as a driving force, but most of the time it will just cause more damage and harm. And there's a very good realistic chance that you're not, and I say this with like love and care, you're not possibly going to succeed the first time. It's the same with games. It's the argument I've made a lot, is that if you want to be a game dev, the worst idea is to commit all of your resources to the first game. No, spend your first like few games developing your skill set, deciding what you kind of think you're capable of doing and what you actually feel like you enjoy doing the most. I know I like making gameplay loops that are on the simpler side, and adding lots of like fringe mechanics. It's very much what I can see a lot with how I approach these. So it's just that's kind of why I'm saying that, because it's a general thing. So it's that whole point of call as well that I've said, where I've been streaming for 2.5 years over that, and I would very much call this channel unsuccessful so far. It's been a success in my eyes, but it's not a successful channel. It does what I want it to do, and that's why I call it a success in my eyes, because I use it as a way to track what I've worked on, to record what I have actually played and things. There's a reason why I don't actually play that many games off stream, because I like seeing... One thing I always disliked when I played a story game was not being able to like relive those moments in some way. I had to kind of just try and do my best to remember it, but sometimes that memory disappears. With this, it means if I want to go see how I thought of Devil May Cry 5 while playing it, I can actually go back and look all those years ago, and I can see that I enjoyed the game and how much fun I had, but also the frustrations I had that I might not remember. It's a way of combating rose tint, in a sense, for me. Or the tint of time, I guess, as you could call it. Which is, in a sense, why I didn't care that nobody watched. No, sure, I definitely early on was like, I would like people to watch because it's beneficial, and I still kind of think like that, but I'm also now a lot more content with not caring. With just kind of vibing and getting my stuff done. Which is why I do, one of the reasons why I do programming more. The other reason is the programming streams are more popular. Which is, again, one of those, I don't know how I feel about that fully, but hey. Also, I don't think that's right. I thought that was always supposed to be execute chance. Did I seriously think giving that was good? Okay, let's actually do a quick rebalance of this weapon, because I feel like it needs one. So I'm going to give this a little bit of area. We're going to give this more damage on level up. This definitely gets more damage here. Execute chance goes up, duration can go up, and duration can also go up here. And this can easily go up by like 5, and the base value can be 3. Whoops, that was what I wanted to replace. There we go. No way that Jeff Bezos of ours wasn't gaining friction. Why gaming streams? Why? Like, it's not that the gaming streams now don't, but when the channel was basically like 0 to 3 viewers sort of range, on the on basically more regular, gaming got me like 1 or 2 viewers, whereas programming got me like 2 new ones just about every week when I was only just doing 1 programming stream a week. So it would maintain its audience pretty well, but it would get new viewers in more regularly. And that was why, yeah, no, I think it was specifically this year I could like just started transitioning to do more and more programming streams, especially once I finished, started my break from my degree about halfway in this year, and like the channel has just, the growth the channel sees currently is substantially higher since I did that decision than prior, which just tells me that clearly I needed to transition to doing the programming more, because that's something that people enjoy, and I think there's multiple aspects to that. It's because I treat my my dev streams almost like podcasting with a thing in the background, which is what I personally like with people that I watch for video games. Is I enjoy listening to them talk anyway, so I don't mind it. And it's just nice to have something kind of in the background to look over at sometimes, or direct a conversation. But do I enjoy programming? I mean, yeah. I love programming. I love the work. I really do. And then, but that's also not to say I don't enjoy playing the games that I play. There is only like, I think 1 game off the top of my head that I just straight up was like played 2 streams of it and gave up. And that was a while ago now. Because that would have been not last New Year's Christmas time, but the previous ones. And I tried to play something and I really didn't enjoy it. It was laggy, it was not a game that I was ever going to probably like anyway. I was just doing it for a thing, and I gave up on it. Because it was like a horror-esque game, and I will say this very, take it how you will, I don't enjoy horror games because I don't get scared easily. So I just get frustrated, because their mechanics are designed to scare you, and then present a challenge through that. If you're going to give me a boss that I need to like run around in circles to avoid, that's just there to make loud noises, I'm just gonna get like irritated. I'm not gonna get scared, I'm just gonna sit there and go, can I just stop? I remember playing Outlast, and just by about halfway through that game, I just started running, regardless of where I was, to the end of the thing. And I The amount of times it just like, oh, you ran into the boss, I'm like, cool, so I just don't run that way next time. I wouldn't care about respawning at that point. It was just a horrendous experience, and I just did not like it. So that's why I don't play those games. Because I just know that I don't enjoy them. In fact, the only game I feel like ever got horror right was early on Dead by Daylight, which it has so many things going right for it that I enjoyed. And it's not that I got scared, but it's that I got into the feel of the game, where it's like, oh, there's a killer there. I'm like, oh shit, oh shit. I loved that. It's not quite that anymore, but I can loved that of the early game. I guess you'd like FNAF or Resident Evil. I not really. I've watched the gameplay of that new FNAF game as well. I think it's really, really well executed. It does everything right. I would not enjoy playing it. Then if you actually look at like the original FNAFs, I wouldn't enjoy them either, because I'm just like, I hate that shit, right? I hate that stuff so much. And I know you're saying it sarcastically. I'm just like pointing out how much the most popular horror games I hate because of just the way they're done. It's why I feel like if I was to ever do a good one, I would need to play it with other people. Like, it needs to be a co-op horror. Because then that way I can bounce off the mood more. Because that's what I would do when I was playing with my mates, when we played like Forsworn and shit like that. Is I would spend all my time trolling and having fun with people. It was so much more enjoyable. So I could act scared because I could act scared with other people and it'd make it actually a fun thing. Lethal Company, yeah, we even played Lethal Company on stream once. And that was an amazing experience. Did I scream a lot and did I act super scared in moments? Yes. There's even a fucking short of me having like a fucking stressful moment of dealing with the door being behind me, but that one monster that if you look at it, if you stop looking at it, it moves. And I'm like, shit. I loved that. I love that short so much because that is what I wish I could enjoy with like horror-esque games. But I don't actually think like that. Again, it's playing it up for the fun of it in a group and for the stream. There's a different mentality I have when I'm in a group. It's the same with drinking. So like I said, it's why I love, sorry cat, I'm gonna just get you off my lap because I need to sit up a bit. It's why I love drinking with groups. Because you can feed off their energy more. You can get drunk on the atmosphere, not drunk on the things, because I don't get drunk off that. But yeah, I remember when I was playing it, and I'll say this very openly, if you're in the chat ever and go like, oh, I want to play the game with you, outside of certain games, I'm probably going to say no. And especially when it was that Lethal Company one, I had someone join in going like, oh, can I play? And I'm like, I'm going to be real with you, Chief. I'm playing with friends. Like, I'm playing in a Discord right now. You're not getting invited to that. I'm playing with very specific people for the reason that I wouldn't probably play otherwise. Why I would never play Among Us or one of those sorts of games without the right kind of group, right? Those are clearly a group thing. It's a very specific group, and it's really fun. Really love them. But you need the people for it. Not just fucking playing multiplayer and queuing up. I don't see any way I would have, like, consistent fun with that. and I think the overall experience would be sour. I'm not a friend yet, but I will be the Kiwi farmer's friend, perhaps. Never know. You never know. I mean, it's that aspect of, with streaming, there's the parasocial thing. So, again, it's one of those, like, there's no way of saying it nicely, but it's you guys will see me more as a friend than I'll see you guys as a friend. Just because you can see me, you can speak to me, but in a soft sense, you are text on my screen. Right? Now, don't get me wrong, I recognize a person behind that text, and that's why I treat people like that. But that is a key thing, and that's why, like, it's really strange, because I have a few streamers I'm friends with, or I work with, or whatever, and I'll chat with them, and it's always a weird one, because in my head, I'm like, I wonder if they're reading this as a chat, or reading this as me. Because they know it's me, but I don't know. Because I know that I mostly read my friends as my friends. You'll see a huge change in disposition when, like, Sin or Max turns up, for example. And if they, like, say something, I'll respond way more differently. Way differently than I would probably for most people in the chat. And that's not to speak poorly to people in the chat. Again, love you guys, you're awesome. But also, you're not being, like, for example, friends with me since high school. Whereas those two have. In fact, Max I've lived with. So... I'm paranoid. I mean, clinically diagnosed even, so, you know, take that as you will. Neil. What, how? I mean, you go to a medical professional and then they diagnose you and they do a bunch of tests. Well, no, they do a bunch of tests, then they diagnose you. That's actually the correct phrasing. How can you can get? What do you mean by, like, how do I get clinical paranoia? Because, like, there's multiple ways. There's the fact that I suffer from some PTSD. There's just inherent way I think, personality, disposition, all that stuff. It's not like a disease you catch. Mostly, though, with that sort of stuff, it does get diagnosed as irrational. Though they don't like using the phrase as much, I've noticed. Mine wasn't, though, because of just some things. And the number of disorders. Dude. Again, this is one of those, like, I don't like listing all of my stuff because it starts getting into a game of people just try and compare, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna one-up, or it's like, I'm worse off or better off or whatever. It's never that. It's different. Everyone's different. That's how it works. But, like, the way my brain's wired and the things I deal with and all that sort of stuff is what it is. Right? But, like, I have really, really big issues with a lot of specific things, and that's why I talked about this a lot last year during some of the stuff, but why I had so many issues with my ex, and the way they handled the situations that were going on last year, because it triggered PTSD and paranoia. And the fact that they didn't respect that was what clued me in on the fact that, like, that was just never gonna work. So you take an action that is basically backstabbing, everyone recognizes it as that, but you think that's forgivable when, like, I've actually literally been backstabbed? Nah, I'm good, thanks. The way it is weird, makes you like programming and VTubers, that's it. Yeah, fair. I mean, like, that's the thing, right, is, like, at the end of the day, I am who I am. Everything that's happened to me and everything that I am has led to who I am now, so I've accepted that all. And I'm actually quite happy with who I am now, so, you know, say that as you will. Damage. Okay, let's get this one as this will be value 1 hash at, and I believe this should just be 0. Well, my return to take a bit more than 15 minutes. Yeah, do be like that, Sasha. It's all good. So this is value 3 hash space, and behind, and then at, sorry, and question mark, 2. Value 4 hash and that's everything to say about this weapon. You wouldn't remember, but I did say that around 15 days ago. No, I do remember. I do remember. Is it 15 days ago now? Oh. I thought it was less than that, but yeah. But how am I doing today? I'm doing well. Got to have a good chill out last night with some friends, and we're progressing on a system that is going to make the game look significantly better, and I'm really happy with it because once it's all done, it is definitely going to be like a massive improvement. That I hope a lot of people are gonna like. Well, actually no, let me correct that. I know that people are not gonna give a shit about this. It's one of those changes that nobody's gonna actually like go, oh no, this is big. It's like, no, don't lie to me. I know you're just gonna go like, oh yeah, it's fine. Information is better. That's about it. Cool. It's uncomfortable that you need to do strings like that. In Godot, you can just add plus to merge these. Well, I do. What? Wait, no, I'm confused a moment for this. It's like, I do just put them together. I'm doing a unique thing because, again, each individual piece of text now, because I'm the way I'm drawing it all has to be done this way, and I would have to do this with a lot of different, with pretty much every coding archetype I know of, to an extent. Do not mix pineapple juice and bread, it's freaking curse, and oh god, that sounds horrendous. Let's type in, you know? Again, like, the only reason this is as long as it is because of the complexity that I've got. This is nothing to do with, like, it being Game Maker. Can I write a string together with values going into it as just one line? Yes. Oh, 100%. Like, what is it? String. I could just literally write, this blah blah blah. Do that, 0, do that, 1, and then I can have this be this value, and this be this value, and boom, done. Isn't GDScript built similar to Python? It's probably better to compare it to C hash, or just C in general. It would be definitely a much more accurate comparison than Python. C++ plus Python. I wouldn't call this C++. I would call it C, C and like C subsidiaries. Because it is C# under the hood. Python is very different. Very, very different. What am I working on right now? I am improving the construction of how I write, tooltips, I guess, is the short answer. Nah, C++, is it? It just got a C# binding? That's not what I've seen, but maybe I'm wrong. Again, from my recollection of actually peeking underneath this stuff and looking at a lot of the things, it is mostly a C# system or an architecture. It's just not conveyed as a C# architecture. Like, it's C#, but with like C++ object-orientated forced on it, is probably actually a more accurate kind of way of potentially conveying that. Is it supposed to be like skill information? Yeah, it's, the best description I can give you is that it's like when you're upgrading, this is the main thing I'm working on at the moment, when you're upgrading them and you see that it'll give you a description, it'll have color for different text. So like damage will be red and yada yada yada, and it will show you the plus value of what's getting leveled up. You got Godot, you got Godot Mono C#, and you got C++ as a native for binding expressions and plugins. Oh, I'm not disputing that that's probably what it is for GD, for Godot's thing, but I know Game Maker is that. I know, if I'm trying to remember Godot's like primary scripting architecture though. Oh, that one's one I'll openly admit, Godot I don't know enough about, but Game Maker I know a fair bit about. Godot, I think it's got Python integration, right? Like it has plugins for that. Unofficial binding, yeah. I mean, that's the thing I'm kind of excited for this year with Game Maker, is that we're going to be getting access to the IDE's stuff, so we can actually change a little bit of the architecture for that. So see, his damage is like plus 15. Kind of like that, yeah. Again, we'll launch the game shortly, and we can probably show it. But I do kind of, yeah, it's going to be just basically better transparency on information is the big thing. And as you can see here, like I'm doing text colors and yada yada yada. So, because now we're about to test this one. So this is Sakura Storm. Icons where? I don't have icons at the moment. Oh, no, I missed something. Where have I missed something? There it is. But yeah, I still am considering how I want to handle icons for, like, during the text. I still think I kind of want to do that. Just trying to, again, consider how would be the best approach. So now we're looking for Caisson. God, I forget how slow Caisson is. And now if we force some levels, there it is. So there you go. The first level up of it will give it +1 damage. And it will tell you deals damage with a size slash in front of you every so many seconds. Was it seriously 3? Good lord. But then it will show you pixel size increase. Don't really care about that one. So we're mainly wanting to see when we get the trigger of the thing. So it would be one more level, so plus that, and then front and behind and behind. Okay. It's duplicating at some reason. We were having this issue before. With something else. Why is that duplicating? Is it because it's adding it? Yeah, that might be it. Maybe we could make some scale to convert the pixels from pixels to like meters or inches. I've considered that. I will not deny. Oh, it should be... Let's see. Why is it duplicating? Why does Sakura Storm sound like Senbon Sakura Kageyoshi Bankai? Scatter, Senbon Sakura. I mean, it's a Yakuza joke. Which I thought was more than fitting for Caisson. Bankai. Senbon Sakura. Kageyoshi. Look, even I was a fanboy for Byakuya. I won't even deny. I think anyone, like, watched Bleach and didn't enjoy Byakuya. Maybe I'm misremembering it, but I remember him being very popular. mean, I could always just try doing this. Just as a test. Just make something like if you hover over the upgrade, there's an in-game scale overview of how big the range is, just to give some tip about the radius to the players in an in-game scale. Yeah, it's one of those ones where, like, I'm not saying it's a wrong thing to do. I'm just trying to consider how I would do it and be happy with it. Like, the short answer is, for now, I'm just going to leave it as pixels. I think it's more than adequate, and realistically speaking, it's kind of universal enough that most people understand it. If they're confused by it, they'll still kind of, especially when the wording gets used as area, or if we add the symbol properly, that actually just goes, this is an area. Then I don't see there'll be a problem. I think people will figure it out quickly enough. Apply the upgrade temporarily and make the hitbox for the attack visible while the mouse is hovering over the upgrade. I don't think that's necessary. I think that's starting to get way more detail than it needs. Because, like, most of these upgrades aren't going to change it substantially like that. Like, realistically, look at Vampire Survivor games in general. The rule of thumb with a lot of them is not even to give you this much detail. I'm giving you more detail than the average game will. So... like, it's just, there's... The shorthand is, yeah, I'm just saying I don't see a huge benefit to going really hard and showing this information, but maybe that's just because that's me, right? I could be wrong. Not saying I'm 100% right. But, yeah, I'm just not sure about it. Okay, let's try and get it to the max level again and see if it duplicates. If it's inconsistent, then I don't know what I'm going to do for now, but if it's consistently still broken, then I clearly duplicated something somewhere. Slash in front and behind and behind. Okay, so I've purged it here. So now let's do the next step, which is to do oops. Like, I do still kind of want to entice the player to just experiment and stuff. Like, you'll see that the size is increased. That's what you can figure out from that. So I think that's enough for the player to figure out the rest from there. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit with that. There's an argument for that. Yeah, so it's somehow duplicating on the other end when it's getting written. Why? Because I've seen this issue in a few other places, so it means that I've screwed up something in This stuff. Just let them find out. It's more fun and hype. Yeah, that's kind of my thought on it. So that every upgrade would be random. I mean, I could just give you a random upgrade when you level up instead. Not even like giving you a choice anymore. It's just you don't go through a menu, nothing. You just get an upgrade. You'll get a random weapon. You'll get whatever. That actually could be a very interesting run. Full autopilot. Sounds like a go mode. Well, that's what I say, is like the modifiers we have are basically game mode controllers. Like, that's the idea of them. So instead of actually offering you direct game modes, I just give you the ability to get modifiers that lead into them, so you can play around with that easily. That's why I want to add like a few that are really, really insane ones, and then I'd give you the ability to reroll if you really need to. But an option to see the stats in practice would be good for more serious players. Okay, my answer then to the whole serious player argument, and I mean this very sternly, if you are a serious player of a game like this, you're gonna experiment with all of the weapons and you'll figure this shit out, and then you'll go like, cool, I know what this does exactly. Again, you're getting told how many pixels it's going to increase in size. If you're a hardcore player, you'd recognize that and go, cool, this is this much. This is going to impact it this much. So I wouldn't cater towards a hardcore player, because a hardcore player will find an answer when there's not one available. It's what plenty of them do. On my way to measure the screen then? Kind of, yeah. I mean, it's pixels in relation to the world environment that it's in, so... But, like, that's the thing. Every size increase is notable enough. So it's never that, like, it's actually hidden of any kind. It's the same argument with damage, then. It's like, should I give you a way of seeing how much damage that is? It's like, can't you do 7 plus 2? Is that difficult? So that's just simply why I'm saying, like, I don't see a reason to give an extra detailed thing for area when I'm not intending to do it with a lot of the other things as well. Like, do you want one for cooldown as well? So it shows you a clock and it shows you exactly how long that second, those 5 seconds are. And then shows you how long, like, minus half a second is? Or do... There's only so much hand-holding I can do with the game, is the short answer. I feel like I'm already doing a good bit. We're trying to get this information through to the player. I thought I was deleting. And text actual. Then I seem to remember when I played PoE, trying to figure out the range of effects and how much they increased by being a moment where you needed a calculator, and then there's nearby. Yeah, that's my gripe with games. That's why I'm trying to give that information. Right? Because, like, if I give you pixels and stuff like that and giving you actual just numbers, then you can work with that. There are some situations at this point that I'm not currently doing that with, and there's an argument there that I should. Best example is Vox, I believe, because his rotation's actually set to a locked space. And I'm not giving that information. I could give that information. Bing Bong, how's it going? Join before sleep. Hey, Anya, how's it going? It's going well. I've got a really wild system that I'm mucking around with to make text look cool. And adaptable. But I'm currently dealing with a bug that I'm not actually sure I understand why it's happening. Because I felt like I was deleting things correctly, but maybe I'm not. But not icons yet? Yeah, and that's later. What about passives for each VTuber called gamer talent? Well, we do have passives. Would I call them gamer talent? I don't... Is that universal enough? Because again, like, not every VTuber is a gamer. I could call them talents. I wouldn't say that's a wrong thing, though. There's definitely an element to that. You tell your players exactly what the range of effects are. Needs a round of applause. Yeah, I'm trying to do my best for that. Not every VTuber is a gamer. Yeah, like that's kind of that thing of like when I approach those, I'm trying to approach them with as universal kind of phrasing as I can to ensure that things are not going to cause problems, right? If I only catered towards, I mean, like that's the thing is we've got anime references, we've got Monty Python references, we've got gaming references, we've got all sorts in this, and I feel like that's kind of more what I'd want. Just go wide net, but I do like the idea of maybe calling something talents. Could split them up into factions like gamers, cooks, artists. I don't think that's a bad idea fully. Because I've talked about this before, but if we actually go... Whoops. Went too far with that. Sorry for the flashback. If we go with something that I've talked about before, and I don't think I've shown it, but like my intention is to actually have filters. And agencies is the main filter that we'll have. But there's an argument we could make of like filter by agency, filter by content type that they do. So again, like that. Things like that could potentially be a very valid argument. I don't think that's actually a bad idea. Definitely could be something to do that. Faction. I like the faction thing. It's just then you get to an argument of there's some that kind of like like stream different kind of categories, and then it's like, okay, so what do we do then? And then what happens if like there's a few things I need to consider with that. I think I would just straight up make it like not even like main or secondary. I would just make it like I want to find, like I click on here and it's got me options where it's like, these are the agency options, blah, 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 tick these boxes. Then it's like, this is category ones. And I'll just make a sub thing of whether it affiliates to that category. And you can say, click this one and it will show you only ones in this. And then I could click this one and it would show me only ones in those two. Or I could not click this one, only click this one, and it would show me all of the options for that. That could be an argument. Definitely a valid idea. That's what I mean. Ah. Okay, sorry, but yeah, like, just that kind of filtering potentially. Naming things is hard. I just go with a tag system where one VTuber could have one or multiple of them. Well, I mean, like, what I would do to the current system that we have for the characters, is if we go up here, you see how there's group independent? I would just make this an array and just fill it with all of the things that that person can be, and then just have it checking that array, right? Filter the categories based on what's there. I mean, I'm already going to be adding one for unique things. So what I mean by that is there's some VTubers I want to have that if you select this one and then select this as their assist, there's a bonus that they get applied to them, because like there's a synergy sort of thing. Best example immediately is if you're playing mouse and you have Booby as your assist, there'll be a thing that you get as a benefit to entice very specific set of things for that. Actually, about the radius, why can't we just do something like hover over an upgrade and it shows you one by one pixel block, highlight in red, showing the radius. Jeez. Box. Maybe. Again, I think that's one of those things that's like, it will have to be developed further later. Because we're not going to have hover over functionality just yet, but I could definitely see a very interesting argument for this. So it may be something to like revisit later down the line, right? If text hold equals this, do this. String depth is that. So clearly what's happening is it's reaching the end. So I thought what we did was we would, that's max length. Index skip is J plus. And then we go here. And that just turns into this. Okay. I feel like I'm going to really hate doing this, but I'm gonna have to run this in debug and C forcefully. So what I'm going to actually do, weapons and equipment. So this one is that value there. So I'm going to yoink this temporarily, so we can see this immediately. Alright, sorry, let's see. I reminded myself, imagine that one movie Steve isn't the real one. It was a meme vid, one half a screen, crafting table, segment movie, it was scenes. Yeah. Yeah. Another idea for a game mode collab, switch between random or two chosen characters. What's the ability? Time. Maybe. See, it's fine here. Why is it fine here? That's actually frustrating. What? What? Why does it work correctly there all of a sudden? What? What? Wait. Because black magic. I fucking hate black magic, man. Okay. Da 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 da. I wonder. No, we tested that. What if I do this then? Just to ensure. Alright, thanks for having me. Hope you have a great day. To you as well, Sasha. Gang crit skill sounds like we're gonna jump your cheeks type of skill. I mean, what does gang crit do again? It's the one where it's like you take damage and you get armor and damage, I believe, right? Sacrifice HP for power. It's more like take damage for power, right? It's kind of what I just find with Kayson's kit is she's supposed to be like in the middle of the fight. If your code is no, I'm not gonna fucking ask ChatGPT if my code is fine because I actually have. Because I actually want my code to work is the problem. You see, that's the issue we have with trying to do that. See if this is broken the way it could be. No, it's not. Which means that it is somehow I'm duplicating the text when I'm writing it. what's actually happening with the code depends which part of the code you're talking about. If you're talking about the problem I'm having, I don't know. I'm just confirmed that I'm not duplicating the raw text, I'm duplicating in here, which is probably related to hitting the cap end of the point. To be honest, ChatGPT can be quite good, but only with well-documented stuff. I mean, it's Google. ChatGPT is just Googling the forums. That's all it's doing. So, do I think it's a tool that can be useful? Yes. I've used it plenty of times myself. But I'm not gonna ask it to do code for me. Yeah. Like, it's really good for, like, concepting an idea and getting, like, the foundations considered. That's something. Or then, helping, like, maybe construct just a general idea. Helping define something. That's always a good one. It's a very good thesaurus, I will say that. It's the code is duplicating itself. No, so what I think is happening, and I can actually explain this one pretty easily, I feel. Sorry for the flashbang yet again. I pressed the back button too much. So what we have in our system at the moment is that it's going to every part, every like of the particle of the word is an array. And what I'm checking for is the moment the string in this would hit beyond this kind of section here. Then I would go through it and figure out when does it go too far and where's the last space. When this occurs, then it will snip this part and it will drag it over and start down here. What's looking like it's happening for some reason is that it's snipping earlier than it should be. But it's also not deleting that, so it's drawing this out, it's getting to the snipping point somehow, and then it's like, oh shit, well now I gotta put this here, so it's duplicating this twice. The whole time I was thinking you were doing strings, not some mad arrays. Well, I mean, it's... The string is an array. Each part of it is 3 parts. It is the string, then the color. Oh, wait. No. So it's the string, then the color, and then the font. Not sure I can understand what this is for. It's so I can change these things upon my request. And then it's also so I can write this in a particular way so I can pull values from a struct. From itself, basically. Because the description is held in a struct. And you can't just reference with GameMaker inside of itself, inside of the same struct as easily. Without causing way more problems, which is why we have all of this weird stuff down here. We're basically denoting, hey, this is telling you this is a value you need to pull. And then all the stuff past that. Because if I explained this one other time, and it's really easy to explain, is that it's like, imagine if I try and write all of this that way. If I tried to write it, it would draw this, it would draw this, and then I would try and draw this bit here, and it would cap out. But because of the way GameMaker draws text naturally, it would then try and start again from here, instead of from over here. Malith can pull values, not ladies. Oh, I can pull ladies. Perfectly fine. That's not the problem. But yeah, so that's how GameMaker does its text thing. I can't make a paragraph itself with it. So that's what this code is for, is creating paragraphs where I can have customization in amongst it. That's a lot of indentation. What with this? This isn't that much indentation. What? I would not call this that much indentation. Like, we've got the function, which is the baseline, then the for loop, then a couple of ifs here, that's perfectly fine. Then this one, and that just goes down to here. No, it's further down. You mean this? This is for loops. It has to be indented like this then. If this is what you're complaining about. This is an internalized for loop. So it's basically a matrix at this point, but it's not actually a matrix. Unless you mean even further down, then I can scroll a moment. Let's see, wait, is it the, like, capping the limit of words you write and creates a new line to write the new code that was supposed to connect to the first coding thread? Not quite the wording I would use, but it's basically just how a paragraph works. Because I'm just denoting where to start the X and the Y for each of the parts for it. Scrolling way down? Okay, let's see. Is that still the same? Unless you mean this bit. Which this does need to be indented this much. It is a really excessively complex because it's looking for very specific conditional checks at very specific elements. Basically all of this level stuff and then all of this, these two. I could do that. Does that make it look nicer to you? Yeah. Because this is checking if it's not level 0, so it can actually check if it needs to do a level pull, and it will check if the value that's being pulled is leveled up. And then do the stuff necessary for that. This is what happens when you have to deal with like weird string shit. Again, it's the irritating part of doing stuff like this. It's one of those people do not actually realize how complex Paint and Word are. Cat noticed. Yeah, he's really want to sit on my lap at the moment, I'll be honest. I need to move around a little bit more. It's getting, like, my feet falling asleep and shit. So it's clearly something to do with this bit here. Can give you a second, I'll be BRB, just gonna download a gigabyte of data for a game, fair enough. If you say so, you're the one who wrote it. And if you're able to find stuff, it's fine. Well, I mean, like, that's the thing, is that I don't have an issue with finding that. And as you said, at the end of the day, as long as the code's readable, the biggest thing I could actually make a statement on is that I do not need to... I need to have more commenting. That's what I do need to have. Better notation would definitely be a thing. I just think it's, I'd just divide it into smaller functions to sort out my ideas a bit more. My statement to that is the only difference I would have with that is just having, arguably it's just more code at that point. This keeps it all in one location, and it isn't actually that complex of a factor. So it means that, like, sure, is it longer than my screen by nature? A little bit, but it's all in one concise location, so I can just easily chain it off it when I need to, and just minimize what I don't need to. Doc strings, comments, all because you don't want to experience pain. Yeah, well, I mean, it's also the benefit of streaming the code, right? Is that I can... Why I'm explaining some of this stuff now is it means that if I go back and watch the VOD, I'm like, oh, this is actually what I thought at this time. Cool. I was wrong. I'm not going to deny there's many a times I'm wrong. Having named functions allows you to just have more layers of abstraction while reading it. I mean, yes, but that's why I say, like, if I just add notation, there's no difference, right? Like, self-notating code sounds cool until I now get even more spread apart than I am. Like, I'm already going super wide with my code. Let's look at scripts alone here, and we could go into, like, initialization, and it goes through and does a shitload of stuff like that. We could go into modifier constructors, which is kind of what you're saying, in a sense, but also not, because it's constructing things like that. I don't need to go more in depth, and when the functions are just going to only be used in this local fashion for this bit down here. Like, again, this is checking if this exists in the string. Could I turn this into a function? Sure. But then, like, okay, so I've removed this and turned that into a function. Now I have to take all of that and dump that into a function. Now I need to go to those functions and start working down from there. It's easy enough to just have it there. Especially with this, what this is doing, because this is all conditional checks. This doesn't need abstraction. Abstraction would actually harm this code more, because it would make it harder to follow, because you'd have to go to too many locations. Like, sometimes, like, my response to, like, probably a more concise statement on that is, like, the concept of dry code. Dry code is good, but when it's too dry, you've made a Sahara desert and now it's not livable. Right? That's why my main statement is I need to actually add notation, not function naming. But I do need to add notation because the system is something that's very important. And as we're seeing right now, I've clearly screwed up somewhere. Because clearly what's happening is I'm somehow pushing text where it shouldn't be. Unless... No, I'm pretty sure I fixed that. Did I not? Text hold gets purged into nothing. Yeah, that's fine. Guess I'm too tired, too used to shift clicking my functions in VS Code to get to its definition. In a sense, yeah, but it's just like, okay, how about this then, yeah. Is it really worth making a function when it's going to do like 3 lines of code? Instead of just making the if statement there. And it's because it's going to be an if statement probably anyway. As well as keep in mind that with like C++, I would probably do that more often because then I could do code reference, or I could do pointer reference, which makes it way, way better, right? But I can't do pointer reference in this, so doing the stuff all at once is slightly more... slightly better, is because I don't have to bounce the values. Like, if I do a function, I have to have it as returned. I can't just do pointer, so I can't return more than one thing, basically. Is a big key thing. So if I want to like ensure I'm returning multiple variables, I can't do that via the function easily. That's definitely an element of it. This is why I say, like, it's not good C++ that I'm working with. GML sucks for this. I wish I could use pointers. So much do I wish I could use pointers. object-oriented programming without pointers. Like, there's a nightmare just waiting to happen. But just an if statement, I'd argue not. Only I draw a fine line at consumption of one thing goes to function. When I have loops, put it in procedure. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad way of approaching it. I think that's actually perfectly reasonable, but the problem is, and this is maybe work experience as well on this. It's probably different now, but the conventions I remember was just kind of like unnecessary function like chaining can lead to more unreadable code for most people. If you don't need to completely make it a function that's going to be used in multiple locations, you're probably better not doing it in most cases. Especially knowing that, like, you do have the ability to just go, you know what, let's just close this. Notation is the big thing. If you find it easier to self-notate code via function naming, that's reasonable. But just actually just going and going, hey, this is where this gets done, works perfectly well. That's why this section's such a bitch, because I can't remember half the shit. Because it's fucking got DS lists as well, so I have to be really careful, because I don't want to explode my computer. The moment I do something slightly wrong with that, it will just, yeah. It's a reason why you have to clear it, like, as soon as possible. Because while Game Maker has really good garbage collection normally, it doesn't have jack shit for a DS list. It's really weird what, like, Game Maker does for its garbage collection sometimes. It's got really good garbage collection across, well, I say good. It's fairly capable garbage collection across the board. But, like, for me, if, like, the few things that don't, it's just like, oh no. Because some things don't care about an actual instance existing to work with it, but then sometimes it does. If you use direct reference, obviously, then it cares about instance. But if like there's no instances available of of an object, then you're using like a width, it doesn't give a shit. With C#, yeah, no, I mean, C# blowing up with RAM sounds pretty standard, because that's the thing with C#. It's very memory orientated. You have a lot of control over your memory with C#. It's really cool for that. But at the moment you don't know what you're doing, expect to blow your fucking leg off. It is really rough. Yeah, I don't understand why it's like pasting the script, but then it's also somehow linking it in this, because it shouldn't get that. A lot of the UI was written with React. Yeah. Dude, there's some of the languages, like Rust, for example, that you hear gets used in some ways, and you're like, how? How did you think this was the right choice? Why? To be fair, like, I don't know many servers that don't run off Rust somehow. Somehow, database, just fucking ruin it. But yeah, React's always a fun one. Yo, I like your work. Can you reach out to me for a project request? I'm not sure what you're asking about. React is kind of great in my opinion. Meta also uses it for VR by now. To be fair, React's a newer one for me. I'm not too familiar with it. So I can't speak to it too much. I just remember hearing a couple of issues at one point. It's very likely that was like much earlier problems that don't exist now. But no, Rust I will always shit on. Rust needs to be shat on till the end of days. That coding base is a nightmare to navigate. Yeah, I'm not sure what I've got wrong here, because this is clearly what's wrong. I know Rust is performant, quite safe. Maybe I'll try it out again, but yeah, the installation is a pain in the butt. Yeah, Rust has its issues. It's one of those, it's lightweight and it has a lot of options, so people don't complain too much, but like, holy shit. React will always have problems, but it's changing a ton. I mean, the fact is that, like, I remember explaining to people, it's like, oh, Python's gonna be the next big language. Everyone's gonna use Python, and now not many people use Python. It's all C, C++, C#, mainly C++. That's what I'm seeing. Which, wild to me, because I remember when that was in its inception, like, quite early on, and, like, with stuff, it was... Dude, go back to, like, early 2000s, people, like, 2010s and stuff like that, people talked about it. It existed, but, like, everyone was like, oh, it's C and C#. C++ is, like, the fucking cousin that nobody talks about. Now look at it, it's one of the most dominant ones, and that's just because it's just reasonable, and it uses one of the best, like, programming architectures out there, which is object-oriented. Or like expanding its scope. By now people are writing server code React. Oh, okay. So maybe it will replace Rust. You never know. I remember when I was a child and everyone was about C++ early 2000s. Really? I knew it was the new kid on the block for it, like, then. Cause like, C++. First appeared 1985. Okay, so it's a fair bit older. But like, it's gone in and out of popularity a lot. Like, a lot. C and C subsidiaries have always been like a core staple to programming. Python's like super new in terms of things. But like, yeah, no, I remember C++ falling out of favor a lot when I was dealing with stuff. Like 2010s, I know not many people talked about it for a while because everyone was talking about Python. I got Stefan purchased C++ guidebook. Yes, the Windows XP era. Oh. Yeesh. Good old XP. Here in France, there was a great free coding tutorial website back then, and yeah, C++ was quite popular once in France back then. Yeah, like, I think that's the thing, is that, like I said, it's ebb and flow. You'll see a language, like, step up and really kick ass for a while. I think that's what happened with Python, and I think that's what's happening with C++ at the moment. It's kind of having its big resurgence, because it's just updated to work really, really well, and I think the main thing is that we've realized, like, OOP is the right way to go. Don't get me wrong, there's probably gonna be something that comes in that tells us that, like, OOP fucking sucks ass comparative to this. That'll be fine. But, like, for now, OOP is really good. Because it's got a lot of good optimization techniques. And great ways of data management and reference. We have a lot of control over OOP, and OOP's also just got, like, it's really readable. I think it's the main thing. It's readable without, like, compromise, which is a problem a lot of other languages will have that don't have, like, good support for that. Totally agree, OOP is amazing. Yeah, no, it's definitely how most people should approach code nowadays. For a good reason. You French. Yeah. Yeah, fuck you, by the way, yeah. Oh, no, I still remember, by the way, yeah. I don't know if you remember it. There's that one meme I sent you fucking ages ago, which was the baguette thing. The baguette with the, like, folded over thing. It's like, what do you call your gay French friend? Like, immediately, that's one of the first things I think of when I think of you. I hope you appreciate that for whatever purpose. The notion of encapsulation your behaviors within the object is so nice. Yes. Do you not remember it? I can't remember where I sent it. Did I send it via DMs or did I send it via staff? Because most of our DMs are code at this point. Yeah. A lot of API discussions. So I remember you were having, I think it was a token issue with the bot at one point, right? I think I helped you fix that. Which, if I recall correctly, wasn't it literally just like, I think you'd used a lowercase in one location when you used uppercase normally? With the baguette shotgun, was that it? I'm trying to find where it might be. Oh, there's that one where it's the fucking man showed up at a French hospital with a World War I explosive lodged in his rectum. 'Cause, yeah, that's the thing. I can't see it easily. I'm damn confident I put it in one of the staff chats. If it's not in our DMs. Because I think... I might even still be on my computer if that gives an idea. Doesn't matter. But yeah, no, it's a meme that I think of whenever when I think of you. And whenever I think of that meme, I think of you. So, you know, maybe it's a really romantic thing. Baguette shotgun. Yeah, that is a hell of a statement, right? Loads baguette with malicious intent. Fuck around and find out. God damn it. I still don't know where this issue is, man. I'm getting really frustrated by it. It's like, surely it's somewhere. It's a guy putting a baguette shotgun in his mouth. Oh, yeah. No, I do remember that one. I 100% remember that one. Damn, I'm frightened of the French now. You should be. They're scary. They might surrender at you. Or they might cause another civil war. You never know. I'm sorry, Nya. You know I'm doing this purely for, like, out of love for you. Am I getting one of these numbers wrong? No, I'm not getting that wrong. Right. French people never happy, but at least we have great. Oh god. That's yep. Dude, I need to fucking clean my chair. There's a few crumbs sitting there. Gotta cleanse the flag to be bright white. Exactly. Can't have them mistaking their flag. It's like, there's a little bit of a stain there. Is that truly a surrender flag? We don't know. Oh yeah, by the way, this is another aspect of this paragraph system. That's why I actually like it. To explain this one in very brief, this basically finds out if it hits the cap of how much area I've given it, going downwards, and scales down the size. So it will forcefully fit in the space that I've told it. Without, like, looking weird. So I could type a shitload of crap, and it will eventually, like, clean into itself. Text scale size down a little bit every time. Because that's the thing with this. To explain this a little bit better, maybe, this is a lot of theoretical information. This is actually when, down here is when I actually draw the text. All the rest of this is the theoretical information of the location data. That's why this looks like a fucking mess, because it's actually drawing the text. Yeah, I don't know why it's resetting the Y point. Reminds you of the one time where I used Java, got some class. I was too lazy to style the UI. Yeah. Run some HTML in my Java UI. Oh. Remember when HTML was the hot shit? It's like, oh my god, HTML5's come out. Whoa. Incredible. Can anyone even use HTML still? Outside of websites, yes. I know they're still used for website thing. Worst shit I'd ever done. Yeah, I could see that. I need a medic bag. Shut the fuck up, Dallas. Need to go work on the channel. Oh, good, Miller. Still need to figure out where this is going wrong. Oh, wait a minute. Am I not scraping it correctly? Wait. I think I see what might be the problem. Let's see. Good luck with the mask. That. I think what's happening. So let's see. If x point plus string width is max is greater than max length. Time to go to sleep tomorrow. Yeah. Have fun with sleep. Enjoy. I get what you mean though. It's time to go to sleep. Rest well now. Have good dreams. If max length, push that. So this array push here might need to be changed. That's that value, text actual. Then, Big thonk. I don't think I'm deleting what I need to delete. From the previous. No, that's correct. Text actual string description. Okay, so xy point plus equals this is less than or equal to max length. Do this, else hang on a minute. I know, because this worked perfectly fine at one point. That's the thing. So unless I've messed something up. Well, no, it's because actually, did it ever work fine? Maybe not. Didn't really have any situations that kind of accommodated this when we were dealing with multiple array value assigning. String width, the current string. So x point. So okay, let's. Oh, I can't get rid of the last few. Alright, fine. Don't save. Let's look at this and kind of draw where we're going with this. So I can think about it a little bit better. Maybe. Hopefully. So X point is there, for example. Then the string width is what's currently stored. Then we get the current string and scale it according. So that's one mistake I can immediately see. No, that's done correctly. Yeah. So we're scaling those together. Is that less than or equal to the length? If that is, then we add to this value here. If it's not, then we add a last space. From our W. And then the index skip is set to the current index plus 1. So it's safely at the right location. The correction I need. No. Okay. Hmm. So unless it's something with this one, which I don't think it is. I don't think I'm sending to a hold value with the question. It's like, yeah, it's got to be the way the thing is here with the removal and injection. Because I have it as equals. Do I just need to just do without equals? Would that fix it? Gotta try. Why does that one web page just flicker on my second monitor from time to time? It's very strange. Very aggravating. Good lord, I need to fix that. Give me a second. Is there actually anything on here that I need? Ah, there is. Okay, I'm not gonna close that page then. So now that's fixed. So yeah, clearly that was an issue. Makes sense, I guess. It's strange that it's not getting split apart though, like it should be. I'll leave it alone. It's at least working now. Can't complain about that. Very strange bug though. I'm gonna go do the stat up search real quick. These descriptions. Also, I'm gonna change this from like 10 to a little bit more health, I think. I do want it to be still not like 100 or something, but like I think 50 could be fine, or 25. No, let's go with 25. I like the idea of that. Cool. Alright, also, yes, welcome to old constructors, where I did it all manually and didn't have like cool functions for it. I hate this. I wonder if this should work. Right, text color dot default if mono. By the way, I should mention, if I was to be much smarter about how to go about this, I would make like if mono reg a default variable, so it would just be if I don't add something or whatever, it will default to that. That is the smart thing. Same with having a default text color. That's the end of that statement. That's it. I'm just saying I'm an idiot. Like, it's 100% the correct thing to do in this situation. Not in any debate at all. It's just correct. Because it would reduce how much I was writing by a lot. There we go. Good advice. Okay, whatever. Sorry, that was just my firewall notifying me of nothing happening. Very useful. Thank you. Very cool. Okay. So there is one thing I'm gonna have to write here, by the way, is an error check. So if we, oh, jeez. If we go back to here, and we go back down to here. Construct. That one. Yeah. Easy enough to just do that. I could do this invert, like this is actually kind of what now I was talking about, I guess. I could have this just break out instead, but this is easy enough. So let's see what happens if we see these now. So what I just did there, because technically speaking, they don't have a level up thing. So if we actually left this to run, it would crash 90% of the time because it would, well, 100% of the time because it would not find that value type and it would just go, ayo, what? But now they should be improved. There you go. Yeah, and it just says 10% more damage. It's not going to tell me like more. Yada yada yada, so that's cool. That's good to see. Awesome. Oh. And there was like a bunch of things we just got working cleanly all at once as well, because it wasn't very complex wording. Just the main thing. Apologies for the yawn. I'm now starting to have the lack of sleep catch up with me and staying up late. It tends to happen eventually. Okay, Alright, there we go. See you tomorrow, old man. I'm going to bed now. Hope everything goes alright. Hope everything goes well for you as well. And thank you very much for the kind message. Very good. Hope you have good, pleasant dreams. Alright, let's get on to getting the description for this one done. Alright, deal. Value 0. Hash 0. Oops. Damage, yeah. Damage with a value 1 hash at 0. Oops, 0. By the way, I want to mention something that might not be like insanely obvious sometimes. What I'm writing here is actually how a lot of companies do this. They'll have like the Notion architecture like this to re-reference inside of the script. If you played Swarm after they did a patch and there was a bunch of like weird gobbledygook on some of the upgrades, that's why. Because it was trying to pull from the struct that it was getting in, and it showed its denotion, not its reference. So it's not that it wasn't doing the upgrade, it was doing the upgrade, it's just the way it was getting that thing got changed slightly. Because, again, the weakness of a lot of Riot games, like the League of Legends ones inside their client, is how interconnected they are via code, because they all use the same code base and the same architecture, which means that if one is slightly shifted in any way, even just a little here somewhere, it can shift some stuff all the way down the line and cataclysmically affect an entirely different environment. Which means that it's no longer them that's dealing with it, it's an entirely different group, and that group now needs to figure out why this has become a thing, and yada yada yada. So I honestly, not envious of the engineer work that goes into that kind of game. There's a lot of problems that can occur very easily. That's where the whole, like, spaghetti code joke comes in, by the way. But, like, again, you can't really blame them. They've got such a massive game structure to work with. Kind of feel bad for them to get treated as poorly as they do. But no, everyone's willing to like just shit on big companies. Because it's just the thing to do. You want a company to actually shit on, go shit on fucking Ubisoft. Or kind of Sony at the moment. Sony's done a... Dude, I still... If you have to log in to a third party like network to play a single player game on Steam, you've immediately pissed me off. Like, just straight up. This is something Sony really needs to pull their head in with. I should not have to create a PlayStation account to play a single player game on PC. That is something that needs to change. Alright. Now let's get these written up correctly. There we go, and that is Aura's weapon, now updated with the correct valuing. I do want to like touch upon her weapon at some point because I do think it's like a little weak in some ways. Which is difficult, because I've said this before, but like Aura's weapon is designed to be very much like Kale from League of Legends, where it's supposed to be a scaling weapon. It's a weapon that gets super strong late, but is not so great early on. It's melee versus range sort of argument. And I want to find a better way of like just kind of conveying that through, maybe. I mean, the fact that it gets like a full second off of its cooldown should say a lot. It gets a lot of area, a little bit of area. It actually gets a huge boost to area on its level 3. It doesn't give much in the way of damage improvements, which is maybe what I need to target. But again, it's like it gets in a sense, a double hit. And then it also, because the wave is technically a separate weapon. So it can double hit at point blank range, and then it can also hit at range in your targeted direction. Which, by the way, I do really need to start finishing some work on Aura, because there's some things that I need to do to her to just like bring her into being a little bit more visually where I want her to be. Because I just feel like I'm lacking and I'm not doing her justice in some spots. That's why I kind of wanted to like give her weapon a bit of a pass over and improve upon it. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, the fact that the wave isn't one-shotting is a problem. This sounds weird, but like if I just force leveled a thing to the end of its leveling, and it's not super strong, especially for a character that is supposed to get a lot of damage, I've clearly messed up. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to approach it like this. Every level gets a 1 damage plus. This should mean that it gets to a similar, if not slightly higher level of damage than most weapons. Especially knowing it's going to have significantly lower cooldown. And doing this means that it's constantly ticking up. But it's never going to have those spikes. It's going to have its spike at level 6, where you get the wave. That is the biggest spike to this weapon. In fact, what we could do, so I'm actually going to make this a 0.25 increase, and we're going to make a 0.25 increase here. This means that you would still get the same amount of area you got before, but now it is spread across these upgrades a little bit. Also, I'm just going to do something that's going to look a little weird. There we go. That should look a bit better. But yeah, so having this will mean that it's like constantly going to be having like a lot of upgrades going on, but all of them are very low impact, which should make her weapon feel like a little bit cooler to level up. This sounds weird, but like this is exactly what I was wanting, because the rule of thumb I've kind of been using is that if I speed level a character up to only just get their weapon to max, it should be able to do it just one-shot easily the beginning spawn enemies. That's 100% pass. and that is doing what I want it to. So that's good. God, there is so many weapons to keep doing, by the way, because there's like we're only this far on the list. And then we got to do items, and then we've got to do passives and abilities. There's a lot of these that need to be done, and it's gonna take a long time to get these done. It's just how this is, right? I'm also feeling my voice like die a little bit at this point. Alright, also hearing my stomach growl. That's never a good sign. Value for hash. That actually should be pretty much all that is, because this one's a very linear attack for what it's meant to do. God, it's +4 damage and minus 1.5 seconds. This weapon is actually such a weird weapon. I don't think it's a very good weapon, but I think it's a very funny weapon. Again, is this wrong of me to say I'm actually quite happy with this weapon, more or less, because it's not that it's a bad weapon, it's that it's really good on Booby, but it's not that great on any other characters. It will be like a filler for most. And not like a happy filler weapon. It's like, shit, I got that one. Maybe there's something we can do with it to make it a little bit more appealing. At some point. It's always an answer. Because it doesn't even get area. But to be fair, it doesn't need to. Like, this is the thing. We don't need every weapon to scale the same ways across the board. Some weapons need to scale uniquely. And, like, Booby has a huge advantage that he can generate a lot of easy damage. more so than the average, like, thing, because of his, other stuff. And then you can go get area from other locations, right? I think it's justifiable this doesn't one-shot, by the way, based on that argument we were giving. Because, like, especially on the character, he's near immortal right now. And now he's one-shotting. Like, it took very little to get him there. And thinking that this could potentially get even more, like, cooldown reduction if you just get, like, the right stuff for it. He just would become immortal. That's kind of funny. Like, I'm just letting the passive do the fucking, moving. Ooh, I don't know if I like that blue. I haven't actually tested that blue look yet. Also, it's useless. Why would I need? I'm liking these. I'm liking this so much that, like, this is coming up this way now. It's one of those, like, subtle things. It's just gonna really add such a charm to the game. Okay, that should give me a little bit of extra healing. Very minor amount, though. And a little bit more damage. Definitely Moth Goop, because that's just a really good damage scaling. Yes, I am just playing the game, fuck you. Sometimes I just kind of want to play my game. Spend as many hours making it, I might as well have a bit of fun with this. God damn it, already the fucking next one spawned, of course. Oh god, that screen shake actually came out really nicely, I think, like that. Not expecting that. Alright. Didn't really want to take that damage. That's the first boss dead, yay! Okay, that's... it's probably using a fucking system that I need to sort out at some point. Adjust it to the big changes of all of this. Because crates are gonna probably be super broken, yeah. Yeah. Realistically, that there is just another showing of why there's a good chance I just don't get the update out in this week, even with all the streams, just because of how much needs to get done. 'Tis a bit frustrating. But it is what it is. Right. At the end of the day. It is what it is. Right. Okay. Trying to think. I do kind of want to hop off so I can go sort that Warframe stuff out and just take a bit of a rest. Thinking I might call it here. It's been a solid 3 hours. I did stay up later than normal last night, and I'm probably going to avoid doing that again this evening, if I can. Would be a wise idea. So, with that being the case, yeah, I mean, like, today's just been kind of very linear. We're just fixing a couple of the edge case things that I hadn't quite gotten to yet, and then also actually getting more of this further along. This is just going to be a constant work, going through and just further adding this sort of stuff. I really, really like this. I'm really happy with how this has turned out, and I want to keep getting like this going a bit further. There's so many things I can do now. The fact that, like, again, we're not utilizing it as a functionality yet, but we have the font changing, we have all sorts of things. I mean, I can even, like, there's just more case scenarios that I can add if I need to, which is awesome. And I'm just gonna keep doing that, right? Like, the denotion methods of this is awesome. It's really awesome. can't wait to see where it keeps going. But yeah, like I said, we'll call it here for today. So with that being the case, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. You're awesome, stay awesome, and I hope to see you again next time. Until then, bye-bye.